And we started with these 6 women and we said, okay, would you like to learn about a hobby? So they had never done weaving, and we hired a teacher, and it took them really 3 weeks. And 4th week we fired the teacher because she wasn't really teaching, right? So the women said that we don't need her. And so I think it was 5th or 6th week when Leslie's group came. So at that time, me and my co-founder Kiva, she's Irish, we had gone back to UK. And we had Sipan was calling me 7 times. I was in a meeting, I came out, and I said, everything okay, right? Because she said, because a lot of people said different things. They said, number one, you have a rice shack. Like it's made from the roof was made from the rice husk. And some of the family members said, you're crazy, someone's gonna burn this building, right? And someone's gonna steal the scarves or the looms, right? And we said, okay, it's for the community if they want to do it. And Sipan and I, we had these discussions. But anyway, so when she called me and then she said, we have no scarves. And I said, we weren't expecting any scarves because we thought it will take 6 months to a year for them to learn. Because weaving is quite complex, as you know. So we never expected that we will start to weave that fast. So we had incorporated that cost into our project, our business plan. And I said, that's fine, that's okay. She goes, so they are not learning, they don't want to learn to weave? They go, no. We had scarves. I said, what happened? Someone stole them? She goes, no. And I could hear her excitement. I said, you're not telling me something. And we had a group of Swedish women, Leslie's group, right? And they came, you had known Sipan before. It wasn't your first visit to this place, right? So you've been coming to homestay, but this was a new project so they saw that, and we used to hang the scarves. On that wall there was a rope, and at that time we had 39 scarves, she told me. She goes, we sold them all. They took all of them. I said, really? I couldn't believe it. I said, there were not even a single, she said, there's not even a single scarf. That was bad enough. Right? And she said, only thing I couldn't do, because our project, business plan was based on $5 wholesale of the scarf. At that time, we started very simple, narrow scarf. And our wholesale cost was $5. And $2 out of that will go to the weaver, $1 will go to the cotton, $2 will be the profit that will reinvest into other things, right? And she said, only thing I couldn't do was I couldn't sell it for $5, I sold it for $4, right? And I was just like, you cannot believe. So I was in London, and I sat in this small coffee shop, I never forget. And I had goosebumps, right? I said, my God, right? This is who is empowering who here, right? I felt really that's empowerment, energy from Cambodia. And we couldn't wait to come back, right? So you wouldn't believe. So I told Kiva, my business partners, we arrived back. And we stopped here, and we came into the weaving place, and there was rainbow of scarves, right? And they hugged us, and they just like, you cannot believe, right? And that changed everything. It changed, that was our model. Model was like, if we do something that switches on that trigger of empowerment, we call it, because we want to measure happiness. Sonas, which is our social business brand, means actually happiness in Irish, and in Sanskrit means abundance. So we believe that if you are happy, you create abundance. You cannot do it other way. You can have everything you want. It's like taking fish out of the pond, putting it in the diamond box. It will die, right? So for us, our fundamental was, I say, we're gonna create happiness. And if that happiness comes to, it's a two-way process. It's never, no one can empower anyone else. Empowerment is a personal journey, right? So what happened that day when you bought these cars, it just, they start to believe, because no one believed that anyone will buy a scarf for $5 when you can buy a scarf for $2, right? And I always said, that's not true. I buy Zara scarf, which is machine made in China, for 25 pounds, right? And I knew how much people pay for the scarf. So I had no doubt about the price, but I didn't want to really say, no problem. Because really I didn't know there are so many barriers, and the biggest barrier is your own personal mind that plays tricks on you and saying, you're not good enough. And that day they said, we are good. and it just carried on, right? Till today, we cannot make enough scarves. People make scarves and they say, oh, we can't sell, and projects shut down because they cannot sell products. And we are booked for a year in advance. So we actually have people like Leslie. Now we're working on something that's actually, we're saying, what do we do from a year from now, right? We've been talking about this for a year now. So, and that to me was, then became a kind of a wildfire. So they became so happy, and we said to them from day one, there are no mistakes. These are just new designs, right? And all the designs that are done by them. So we didn't want to make them weavers, right? We wanted to make them artisan designers, right? Because no one wants to be a weaver in Cambodia, right? But we knew that weaving is not bad. Weaving is actually trendy, and we were saying to people, organic food and organic living and natural living is coming back. People pay so much price in the West, but they don't know, right? They're saying, okay, this is like going back in time. So we basically then, and deal with these 6 women were, when you feel that you are actually happy, you will then bring one more person. And our real target was actually their children, right? Our trap is, because the biggest challenge is having these, we need to look after the next generation, right? So we were saying, okay, how do we actually then inspire children to stay in the school? And that comes from the environment in the family. So if the family is struggling, there's nothing you can do to sustain their education. Dara, you agree? Right? So I think, and we had this little school, we had children coming in, and we had weavers sitting here, and it was happiness. And they start to weave what we call these scarves, threads of connectivity. We never made any products actually. These are the emotions of our happiness. And then I went crazy, so like, I need to share this with the rest of the world, because we are coming into Cambodia saying, they need our help, right? And we think we're gonna empower them. It's not just Cambodia, we have done this to Africa, we have done it to so many countries, right? We are bankrupt of happiness ourselves, right? And we want to spread happiness. So for me, I said, I need to go back and start sharing that with as many as people, especially the young people, right? Because someone is telling them it's your responsibility to change the world. It's not their responsibility. Our responsibility is to change our world, to be the change, right? And we cannot sit in coffee shops in London and make change happen unless you become part of that, right? So for me, of course, not everyone can leave the job and run to Cambodia. They're not going to solve the problem. Problem solving can happen through a value chain. So what we want to create was, we want to connect this village. First was, when these 6 women become successful, we had a calculation, which is theory of change, that 12.5% of this village will be the tipping point. So that was 50 families. So we thought, it's proven model. We said, when we reach 50 people in this village, this will go crazy. Everyone in the village will then start to believe that it works. And it works not by someone else. I'm the only foreigner in the system, and I don't do much, as you have seen. I eat hammock and blah blah, right?
Indian food.
And they have now, there is a complete belief in the system. So the system became, actually, we reach now 35 families, right? Within 5.5 years, we have now weaving. Out of the weaving profit, so we doubled this. Year and a half later, we rebuilt this workshop and cost $16,000. That all came from the profit of the scarves. We then started 5 more projects. So we started getting the retail. So we have 2 small shops in Siem Reap. We work with 9 partners within Cambodia. We have 9 partners abroad. So these are mainly designers. So we really wanted to show to everyone, we wanted a professional value chain, because we can't really create value-adding products without knowing what's the market out there.